20 to 65 million Indians are victims to human trafficking. Indians are usually trafficked for sexual exploitation and forced marriage, and are also trafficked for forced labor, used as servants, and for begging purposes, possibly even terrorist tools. A destination for girls from Bangladesh and Nepal used for commercial sexual exploitation and circus shows. Indian girls are often trafficked to the Middle East for commercial exploitation as well. Human trafficking usually results in both mental and physical damage to the victim. Mental damage such as PTSD, depression, anxiety, and increased risk of other mental disorders. They're also at higher risk for physical damage such as STDs. Usually, grown women who were earlier trafficked themselves are used to recruit young women from the villages they used to be from, and they use sentimental, feelings and culture to draw the women into these situations. Women are lured into sex or human trafficking in India because of the very high poverty rates and not a lot of opportunity, and because in India they don't really keep the minimum wage law. So girls that hear that there are other ways to make money are often easily recruited into human trafficking and are usually used as prostitutes or servants. WomenUnderSiege.com reported a little write-up on a few girls that were victims to human trafficking in India. I'll read it. In a six-bed women's ward in New Delhi's Safdarjung Hospital lies a frail 15-year-old girl. Her face and head are bandaged, leaving visible only a bruised black eye and swollen lips. Burn marks and scabs extend down her neck to her whole body, and a disfigured ear clings onto her face like a piece of mangled flesh. A strange stench surrounds her. The nurse who comes back to check on her explains the smell. A wound on the girl's skull is rotting and is filled with maggots. The girl tries to speak in a muffled voice and says, "My employer would beat me every day with a broom and a stool. Many times she would put a hot pan on my body and burn my skin. That's how the skin on my skull started peeling out as she repeatedly burned the same spot." Somehow, the horrific brutality inflicted on this teenager is not an isolated case. Thousands of girls are trafficked every year from remote villages to large cities and sold as domestic workers. Many are abused or sexually exploited. Extreme poverty, lack of education and employment, and poor implementation of the government's minimum wage system in rural India make girls more vulnerable to being trafficked. The 2013 Global Slavery Index, published by the Australia-based Walk Free Foundation, an organization that works to end modern slavery, found that almost half of the 30 million modern slaves in the world are from India. But how does such slavery thrive, let alone exist in the 21st century? Over a few months in 2013, I traveled with a camera crew and conducted several interviews on the trafficking of girls in India. The accounts below are based on my finding. Basically, the rest of the article is, this woman talking about basically the open trade of human beings, through things such as agencies to other people in order to use them for different crazy illegal things. And it's not like the Indian law doesn't prohibit sex trafficking, but it's something that's not implemented as it should be. They have, apparently the Indian government has passed laws such as the ITPA, the Moral Trafficking Prevention Act, where, basically making it illegal and making human traffickers, giving them the penalty of, anywhere from 7 years to a life sentence. But it's just something that needs to be eradicated with the help from us, and prayers need to go out to that nation as well as several other nations where human trafficking is still very much a thing. Yeah.